we are going to be looking at this beautiful mouse, whatever you want to call it, and this is called the LEADR. So spelled L-E-A-D and then R, so I call it LEADR, but it's not really typically English, so I don't really know. But anyway, it comes in this nice little package, and it's got charging dock, which is what it's on at the moment. So this is meant to be frame rate per second ready. So if you're using like a 144 Hz monitor or 120 Hz monitor or a 240 Hz monitor, then this is the mice for you, especially if you're into CSGO, PUBG and Fortnite and Call of Duty and whatever games that you like to play with the mice for first person shooter. That would be this mice as well. As you can see, it's got like an indicator at the bottom here, and this indicator is to say how much battery is going into the mice itself. It kind of trickles in. It's got the logo that's illuminated, which is ROCCAT, and then if I take it off, it tells me how much battery life's in the actual mouse. So when I'm playing around and all that for a while, it will tell me how much is in there. It's got these gold, what are they called, gold prongs that are underneath, and this is what attaches to the actual dock and then charge it, so that's pretty decent. It's got these glide feet as well. It's got 4 glide feet, so they're all different sizes, but they do glide pretty well on the mice, on the mouse pad. It feels really smooth and nice, but the difference is this is a slightly bigger mouse than what it would normally be. So if you've got really large hands, then, or medium to large hands, this will be for you, but if you've got small hands, you're going to find it incredibly uncomfortable. So I've got a mouse here, and this one's quite long compared to this one, which is quite thick and chunky and higher up than what this mice is. So this feels really nice and comfortable in my hand. It doesn't feel too heavy, it feels very comfortable, doesn't feel too light, don't feel too heavy. On the bottom here, we've got a micro USB cable that can be connected in, so you can definitely do your whip rounds and your 360 trick shots, or whatever you want to call them, and the cable will not come out. It does have a locking mechanism, and you press this button to unlock it. I do have the cables in there. I'm going to show you later on in the video what you can do with it. You've got an optical sensor underneath there, and then you've got a switch and a pairing mode as well. So this switch is to turn it on and off, and this is to pair the actual mice or mouse to the docking station itself. It does have quite a few buttons. I think I counted about 16. So like one here on the side here, so if you've got your thumb, you can just easily use it and click it down. I hope this is off. Yeah, it's off. And then you see you got one button there, and then you got 3 here, so you got 1, 2, 3, and then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9 and 10, and I think this goes left, right and down as well. So yeah, it does have quite a few buttons on there as well. So the scroll wheel feels really nice and very tactile. It's got a nice little tactile bump. You got the DPI at the top here as well, and I guess this is if you're left and right handed, which feels quite comfortable on the left hand as well. I'm not even left handed, it feels good. You've got like a nice like pinch grip, so with doing claw grab, you can do nice claw grab quite easily by just hovering it over the mouse pad. So that's pretty decent. It does feel pretty slippery, not too slippery. It's got a nice duration where it feels like if you're going at it in a game, it doesn't feel too weighty, it feels just right. I can easily hit the tactile bump on the right hand side of my thumb, so that is in a decent place, but it all depends on your different preferences of your hands. I'm a bit useless at using my left hand for stuff like this, but yeah, I can, so that's not too bad. I can click down for a tactile bump, you get a nice clicking sensation, and right and left is quite nice, but when I'm hitting it like this, it does sound pretty loud. It's not exactly quiet, but you can keep it quiet. But if you're playing, I don't know, that you will be able to. Right, so I am a div because the cable is actually in the docking station, but then you can unplug it, and then obviously there's no lights, and then I can plug it straight into the front, so it's got this weird look for a USB connection, but it runs and clicks in flush really nice and easy. But as you can see, doesn't come out, don't have to worry about it. But if I press this button here and I can pull it out, and it comes out, but it means that you can feel safe with a nice click sensation. But when I'm going like this, I'm going proper mad, the cable's not going to come out and lose you the game. Anyway, how it breathes with the software, so you've got a nice illumination of colour. You can have different RGBs and stuff like that, because it is ROCCAT. And then you've got all these buttons that you can definitely program and use as macro keys and stuff like that. It does look like the old school sort of ROCCAT that through all the years. It's got the same sort of cat that illuminates. When they first done it, I think it was red and then blue. Well, it might have been blue and red. But yeah, it does still look pretty cool. Now the cable is quite stiff. It's not terribly long. It is probably about a metre, I'd say 1.5 meters in length. It does feel like, it does feel pretty stiff, to be honest with you. And it does make a little bit of noise, but I'm just literally picking out stuff like that. So if I go into the software, which we want to do, and let's go through the software and everything, all the functions that it can do. And then obviously we're going to play a game. We'll probably try PUBG or something and see how good it is. And this is not a gaming monitor. This is obviously BenQ's top of the range video production monitor. But I don't know whether to actually put, I think I'm gonna put in a 240 Hz monitor in, so we can check the frame rates per second, because this is obviously frame rates per second ready, or first person shoot 'em ready. So yeah, let's do that then. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to put it on Fortnite, because PUBG doesn't run at 240 Hz. So I want to find out what the maximum frame rate per second is. So let's just change the display and get it going. So that's what display. So far, this mouse feels like one of the best mice I've ever held in my hand. It just feels comfortable. It feels very, very strict and accurate. But I think that's because I'm using a 240 Hz monitor as well to help with it. But no, I doubt it. I think it's just purely, this is like an esports setup. So esports mice, esports keyboard, and esports monitor. 240 Hz. This can keep up with the definite Hertz. I didn't see any blur or nothing. It's felt smooth as day. So I'm just going to this software now and see what we can do with the software. But it's good as well, after a while you can just plug it in and just have the cable, and that was playing with the cable, that was not even playing without the cable, and it felt great. So obviously playing without the cable is going to feel even better, because it's going to be more lighter to the hand, if you like that sort of thing. Now let me just see if I have got the software already on here, and I do. Normally when you download the software, it will ask you whether you want to download and update when it picks up your mice and stuff. So there's the mice right there. We've got a DPI switcher, so this looks like it goes up to 12,000 DPI. That's ridiculous. That is pretty ridiculous. 100 smaller. At the moment I've got it on 100, what was that, 50, no, 400, 800, 1200, 600, 3200. That's not too bad. So that means it can really be snappy for CSGO. For Fortnite, yeah, if you're building really quickly and you want to build really quickly, then yeah, this is definitely the mice for you. What we've got here, Windows pointer speed, so you can enable that and change that around, but normally use everything in the software for this. All the settings, you've got a vertical scroll wheel, so I can scroll down on the like the internet or something like that, or whatever I'm scrolling down into the menus, and you've got different speeds. You've got one full screen at a time, so you can just do it in increments, or just do it like full speed, so it goes from 1 to 10, which is decent. I think that's on these sides on my buttons. No, this is on no, there we go, it's on this. So I have got a clicky scroll wheel as well. Horizontal and speed tilt mode. I didn't even know it even had that. So yeah, Windows pointer speeds there, DPI switch is there, and accelerator settings as well, which is this button here on my right hand side thumb, and you can calibrate it as well and make it more customized to your own preferences. Then double click speed, when you're clicking like really quickly and stuff like that, with your left and right clicks. Pretty good for Fortnite and obviously PUBG recalling and stuff like that. That'd be quite decent for that. You've got your profile manager, you can connect it all up and have it matching the keyboard and stuff like that. and then you can import your profile if you've already got your own preferences from another computer. Get the software dongle, put it all in there, get ready for esports straight away. Or you can delete it, you can change the name, and you can just change things around. You've got a macro manager as well, which I said earlier on in the video. You can record macro buttons and that, make sure they're hitting the milliseconds per second. Well, the milliseconds per second, that doesn't even make sense. Make sure that you're recording, and you can definitely check and test to see if you're hitting them buttons correctly and stuff like that, and you record your time and speed and then assign your buttons in a different way. It's already got like Battlefield 3 and 4 and Bioshock and all that sort of stuff on there. I guess you're going to have to look for Fortnite. I guess PUBG's already on there though, isn't it? Yeah, PUBG's already on there, so you can get the buttons all set up and have a duplicate. You can send it via, I guess, like anything. So I've got a sending button, you know, like on the button on the phone, which has got like 3 dots and the line. It means that you can send it to like WhatsApp and text messaging, Facebook, that sort of thing. It's on there, so you can send your settings, so you can delete them, or you can copy them, whatever you want to do. Just press OK, and it's got loads of stuff on there, and it's got an apply button. Let's have a look at the RGBs on the actual thing before we go to button assignment. So we've got fully lit and blinking, and got heartbeat and battery status, which is on this keyboard as well. This is a Sennheiser ROCCAT keyboard. You've got colour flow, so I guess I'll click apply. Not too bad, it's not too bad. Fully lit, let's have a look at that. Just goes through the colours for the scroll wheel and through the back as well. They're pretty different. It's pretty cool, I like this. So all of this is pretty decent. It's not too bright or anything like that. This looks a bit more cheaper on the background, because it reminds me of the old school ROCCAT logo on the back there, and it just breezed through a bit of colour, which was blue and red. But now it does all the RGB colours. But the mouse itself is ridiculously like accurate. It's really cool. Distant control unit, so this would be how you can lift it off, so like claw grabbing and stuff like that. Sound feedback, I didn't know you can do sound feedback. Alright, so you've got DPI change and volume up and down and profile. Let's have a listen to what that is then, so let's turn that up.
1600 DPI, 1200 DPI, 800 DPI, 400 DPI. 3200 DPI.
All over the place. That's pretty freaking cool. I must admit, that is pretty cool. I've never heard that on any mice.
1600 DPI.
Flipping hell. Okay. Well, to be honest with you, I'm pretty blown away by this mouse. I'm blown away with how comfortable it is. The only thing I dislike about it, it's got that old school logo that breezes through the colour that reminds me of blue and red. And when it comes up blue and red, it actually definitely reminds me of it. But like the DPI buttons and all the buttons you can assign to it, how many buttons you've got, that means you can build like really quickly in Fortnite. Or you can store your weapons and go into your macro menus, and then bang, 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 you get all your weapons and choose them really quickly. It is much more significant than just having 2 buttons on the side and the mouse, which I normally use. But for proper esports gaming, flipping hell, that is really nice, and it feels so accurate. You won't believe how accurate it is unless you test it out. And I like the fact that you can just take this cable out and plug it in, and then you've got, so if I take this out, that's another thing I don't like. Obviously, rushing with the buttons really hard like that means that you could obviously turn off something you don't want to. So I put my mice on there. That's cool. It doesn't go left, doesn't go right, it just clicks on there. It's a little bit like, oh, good. You've got to make sure that you're actually clicking it, but it's got these little prongs on there and it won't break. It's pretty robust. I like it. It looks like it's kind of sweat proof. It's got a bit of smudges on there, not too bad, but this little base is really cool as well. It just makes the whole setup look good. You can set the RGBs up all right. Talking about RGBs, when you've got the RGBs, I've been told that basically when you want to change the colours, you have to take it off and then put it down on the mat, and then obviously change it. But if you've got the cable, which is what this is, connected into it, you can change the colours on the fly. So those are the 2 problems about it. But this is a little bit like over a year old, so it probably should be improved, or you might be able to improve it with software. And that's another thing, software for the mice or the mouse, software for the keyboard, and software for anything that ROCCAT does, because that's the way they are. Anyway, I hope this video was in depth enough, and it's pretty cool with the DPI 32000. It's so sick. But anyway, I hope this video was helpful and all that. Subscribe, share, like, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to comment and say what you want to ask me about this, and I'll happily get back to you. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.